Late one night, from atop a 35-foot tower, a prison guard uses his lantern to catch an inmate trying to escape. The guard easily spots him because he is 7 feet tall. In fact, he only makes it 12 feet from the prison before the guard yells for him to freeze. And he does. Then the guard proceeds to climb down the tower. As he descends with his lantern, the guard notices that the frozen inmate's shadow gets longer and longer. You guys already pointed that out to me, right? Okay. Let X equal the height in feet of the guard as he climbs down. And let Y equal the length of the inmate's shadow in feet. So it's basically exactly how they have it labeled here on this page. All right, so far? Okay. So use similar triangles in the figure to set up and solve a proportion to find the length of the inmate's shadow when the guard is at the top of the tower. So can everybody see both triangles first of all? I need you to be able to see both triangles. Okay? Here's one triangle. We've got this whole big triangle right here. So if I was setting up a proportion there, I would want to use probably the height right here, which would be X, over the length right here. It's not; those aren't really the right words, but that'll work for this particular problem. How long is this side right here? 12 plus Y?
Yeah.
So over 12 plus Y. And the other triangle I have is right here. Does that make sense? So the height of that triangle is 7, and the length right here is Y. Now if I'm setting up a proportion, what am I doing with those two equations, or those two fractions, excuse me? Yeah, I'm setting them equal so that I can cross multiply. Alright? So when I cross multiply, what did I do? Oh, do I know X? What is X? How do you know that? Because it says, and it tells us the guard is at the top of the tower, right? So let's go ahead and change that to 35 and not just X. Okay? So that when I do cross multiply, here I get 35Y equals this part, right? 7 times 12 plus Y. Okay? Everybody okay so far?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So when I solve this to solve for Y, I have 35Y equals 84 plus 7Y. What's my next step?
Subtract 7Y.
Good. So 28Y equals 84. Dividing by 28 on both sides gives me Y equals 3. Good. 3 what? 3 feet. Wait, what does that mean? In the context of the problem, what does it mean? That's how tall the inmate's shadow is when the guard is at the top of the tower. Okay? So, what I need from you is this table filled in and this graph drawn. Alright? It says a function that can be used to show this relationship for various values of x is here. Y equals 84 divided by the quantity of x minus 7. Okay? So I need you to use this equation to fill in this table. Use this table to plot points on this graph. Alright? So I need this table filled in, so as you're figuring it out on your own, one at a time, y'all come and fill in one of these on the paper. Up here. Okay? Mark, get set, go. So most of you I see are putting in y equals Y equals 84 over x minus 7 into your calculator, and then you're going to your table, yes?
Yes.
Good. Keep doing it. Once you get one of these values, come fill them in.
Over there?
Up here.
Let me do it. Yeah. 3.5.
Thanks, Kingston. Okay. I need to come in and get you to help me with that.
Okay. Do it. Bring it.
Yep.
You can use green or pink, I don't care.
Where's the pink one?
Okay. That means here.
Oh, yeah.
Just check. Good.
Want the pink one? Yeah, where?
Susan's like, I don't care. Good. Every table has to fill in at least one space. Okay? Every table has to fill in at least one space on our table.
Wait, we go over there and write it on the other board. Over there, go. Hurry, run. What, I go to you?
Yes, come to me.
Oh, girl.
And you can use green or pink, I don't care which one. I use green. Okay. Good. Now some of you are doing it different. Some of you are taking this x value and just plugging it right in there and saying 84 divided by 7. Let every table group do one, and then you can do multiple. But you can go ahead and fill yours in.
I've already
Okay,
filled
good.
mine in.
Who?
Because it has an L? Oh. How did you not know that? Wait, who was talking to? Who? Elijah? That's funny. And you didn't know that?
What? Come write it. Tell Jared to. TJ, you got another one? Not the last one. They got the last one.
That's just a technicality.
I'm not going to let you write it if it's wrong. What do you think it is?
I don't even know how to do it.
You take 8 and put it in right here. What's 8 minus 7?
What's different?
What's 8 minus 7?
It's 1.
What's 84 divided by 1? Write it.
Well, I just didn't know
You got it? No, you got it.
I know, but I didn't know how to do it.
Okay, but do you know now?
Sort of. I was using that, but it wasn't something.
Okay. Guys, I need one more filled in. You can come fill it in for me, please.
I'll give you the number if you...
Okay, let's plot these points real quick. If you already have them all written down, please make sure you have your points plotted. X is 31, so Y is 3.5. X is 28, so Y is 4. This is 21, so Y is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. X is 13, so Y is 12. X is 10, so Y is 25. X is 9, so it's 42, so it'll be like there. I can't even plot the last point though, can I? So I can't go up 84.
Yeah. That was rude.
Okay, so does yours look similar to that? So we just did problem number 2. Using a domain of 7 is less than x is less than or equal to 35, complete the table and graph for the function. Problem number 3 says determine the function's asymptotes and explain their meaning in the problem. So the biggest deal here is remembering 10 days ago. How in the world do we find asymptotes? Vertical asymptotes are the easiest to remember. How do we find vertical asymptotes? We set the denominator equal to 0. So we would add 7, so x would equal 7. What does that mean? There's an asymptote at x equals 7. X equals 7. Well, in the context of the problem, x value was what? What was my x value?
Height.
The height as the guard climbs down. Why is there one in x equals 7? Why can the guard not ever get 7 feet down the tower? That's how tall the inmate is, right? So what'd you say?
Shadow would disappear.
The shadow would disappear. Well, I mean that would be like Peter Pan. And if the prisoner was actually Peter Pan, why didn't he just fly out of the prison?
He was out of fairy dust.
Out of fairy dust. Okay, it's pixie dust, just so you know. But that's another story. Okay. So what do we want to write? I know what you mean. I know what you mean. The shadow disappears. How about if we say the end of the shadow disappears? Would that be okay? Does that make sense to you guys? You guys knew what he meant too, right? The shadow disappears. There's still a shadow, but you can't see the end of it. Okay? So the end of the inmate's shadow disappears. What does that have to do with 7? The end of the inmate's shadow disappears when
At 7 feet.
the guard gets to 7 feet. Yes? Okay. Is there any more? Is there any more asymptotes?
No.
So we found the vertical asymptote, right? Is there a horizontal asymptote?
0.
Remember, anytime we name asymptotes, these would be lines if they existed, so we have to name them the letter and a number, not just a number, right? So we would look at the exponents, the highest exponent. What's the highest exponent in the numerator? 0, right? Because there's no variables. What's the highest exponent in the denominator? 1, right there. So if the denominator is greater, you have a horizontal asymptote at y equal 0. Why is there an asymptote at y equals 0?
Because the lantern can't be at 0.
I'm going to keep going so you can watch it tonight. Did I give you the other page?
No.
You got to do the other page for homework. It's right here. Grab one of these on your way out. At y equals 0, y deals with the length of the shadow. The length of the shadow can't get any shorter than 0, and it can't go below. Okay? And in fact, the only way that the length of the shadow is 0 is if the guard is right on top of the inmate, and we know that's not happening. Okay? So we're going to say the length of the shadow
Soda in the freezer, that's always a bad idea.
cannot get shorter than 0 feet. Okay, and it can't get to 0 either, but definitely not shorter than 0. Okay, so soda in the freezer is your homework. Come see me in the morning if you have any questions. Have a good day.